It's also been postulated that plasm may account for the remarkably full and manly facial hair observed on many communist males.
Uh-huh. Stroke your beard proudly, stroke it, but modestly. Sure, we'll be proud.
Of course, inframaterialists argue that revolutionary plasm may stimulate human physiology in other ways as well. Oh yeah, we're talking about white-hot communist sex, baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct. Reports from the revolutionary period claim that the most radically devoted communards were able to engage in vigorous intercourse for up to 8 hours at a time.
Communism makes you last longer, okay?
8 hours? There's no way. Your equipment would be mashed to jelly.
Endurance check impossible failed.
Hyperproductive vegetables and ultra-horny communards are fine. But this theory hasn't quite gotten strange enough for you.
Mm-hmm.
Sexual euphoria. Increased sensitivity to stimulation. If you didn't know better, you'd say this plasm stuff sounds a lot like being on amphetamines.
Does putting amphetamines in the soil means that plants grow more?
And on that note, you feel like you've gotten the general idea of inframaterialism, enough to carry on a basic conversation at least. But if you'd like to go even deeper into some of the more speculative aspects of the theory, you could always read further. Of course you want to go deeper. What else are you here for?
Conceptualization knows it, yeah. I mean, to be fair, like I've said before, not advanced race theory, actual art degree has been possibly the best thought I've had in this game so far.
The book fits quite snugly into your palm. It would also fit comfortably into a jacket pocket.
Keep reading.
You flip forward a few pages until you come upon a chapter titled Mental Projection and Transference. When a community has achieved a sufficiently high degree of revolutionary fervor, inframaterialists believe that second-level effects may be observed. At this second level, certain hyper-revolutionary individuals may even develop the ability to extend their thoughts into material space and vice versa.
Wait, does that mean communists can read minds? Why do these effects only work for hyper-revolutionary communists? Again, because we have our thoughts. For the purposes of gameplay, the thoughts are kind of reading into what other people's emotions and actions are doing. So, for example, empathy with Kim means that Kim is more likely to respond to us in a favorable manner. You can use perception to identify if someone's feeling a bit nervous or shaky, or identify things around the room. But this is like going, like it says, a level beyond. Can they read minds?
According to inframaterialist theory, yes. Under suitably revolutionary conditions, that is. It's become something of a folk legend that during their final meeting, Nielsen and Mazov didn't speak a single word, preferring to sit in silence with their chamomile tea, reading one another's thoughts.
Yeah, it's just having a conversation with a telepath and the room is completely silent. That's strangely beautiful. That's probably not what happened. I mean, if no one else was in the room, then no one else can verify whether that actually was the case, whether they just sat in silence, but yeah, let's be optimistic. That's strangely beautiful.
One of the minor tragedies of the late revolutionary period is that few reliable accounts survive.
Of course.
Much of what we know of the communards' activities during this period come from memoirs and second-hand accounts, some only written down decades after the fact, and of dubious authenticity.
Mm-hmm. So why do these effects only work for hyper-revolutionary communists?
Because plasm has never been directly observed, the exact mechanism behind these effects remains entirely speculative.
Yeah, we just need to get sooner on the case.
In other words, there's no evidence that any of this mind-reading stuff is real. Psst, you know what else lets you feel like you can read minds? Spooky old Pyrrolidon.
Wait, if there's no evidence plasma exists, how can the theory be true?
Most inframaterialists would argue that the inability of skeptics to detect plasm is simply evidence of their own insufficient revolutionary enthusiasm.
Yes, but the point is that if they're a skeptic, they aren't going to be able to get that evidence. The inframaterialist should be able to provide that evidence.
There you have it, a perfectly unfalsifiable loop. The theory is impossible to disprove on its own grounds, meaning it's hardly a theory at all. This should be more than enough for a stimulating discussion. That said, if you're still yearning for more,
finish the book.
You breeze through the next several sections until you arrive at the final chapter, titled A Communism Above Reality. When a society's revolutionary fervor reaches the third and highest level, inframaterialist theoreticians have postulated that the laws of physics cease to be laws.
Cease to be laws. What do they become then?
More like suggestions, according to some of the SRV's leading inframaterialists. Of course, it's impossible to say what exactly happens under these conditions. No known society has ever achieved the levels of revolutionary enthusiasm the theory seems to require.
Yeah, the laws of physics become more like guidelines.
Some inframaterialists have even argued that it might require more plasm than humanity alone may be capable of producing.
Wait, are there non-human sources of plasm? Has anyone ever gotten close to reaching the third level? What would a third level society even look like? There's non-human sources?
In the SRV, there have been attempts to organize certain species of aquatic mammals, as well as a few of the higher corvids.
Alright, so they're using animals that are reasonably intelligent.
But, as of this writing, only human beings have demonstrated the intellectual capacity for revolutionary communism.
Well, I think that's kind of a given because the mammals and corvids that would have the intelligence to perform communism don't have a need to, well, revolutionary communism that is, because they don't have an equivalent of a capitalist like ideology themselves. No? Has anyone ever gotten close to reaching the third level?
There are numerous stories from Samara involving bandits or fascist mercenaries being levitated by farmers from the most ideologically advanced communes. Of course, few of these incidents have ever been rigorously investigated or substantiated. The form of these stories also recalls several well-known Samoran folk tales, in particular the one commonly known as Clever Oleg and the Flying Magistrate.
Again, if someone can be levitated in the air, there should be, well, independently verifiable accounts of that happening. But of course, it's just going to be folktales.
Among known attempts to channel third-level capabilities, the most well-documented is the curious case of Coalition warship Debutante.
I've got to know what that's about.
It concerns an interesting series of events that took place during the invasion of Revachol. As Coalition forces made landfall, a cadre of Nielsen's most fervent acolytes attempted to compress a Coalition-era static with their collective will.
Did they try and bring down a Star Destroyer using the Force?
According to Communard law, these acolytes positioned themselves at the top of a redoubt just over the bay of Revachol. From that vantage, they proceeded to visualize pinching Coalition warship Debutante between their fingers, a gesture believed to assist in the extra-physical materialization of their thoughts.
Yeah, it's always a common thing of, in media, so films, books, TV shows, well, say books, films and TV shows, if you have someone that has, you know, powers that are manifested through their mind, they usually do a gesture, like they put their hand out or, you know, they put fingers to their head kind of thing. Because having someone just stand there and things happen around them does not kind of get the concept across of, yes, this is something that's happening because I'm doing something with my mind. Why didn't they just get some high-powered merc gear? Could have used their finger pistols instead. Aim your finger pistols toward the bay. Did it work? Right, well, the mercenary gear has absolutely nothing to do with what they were trying to do. Should have used their finger pistols instead. I feel like this is quite a funny thing. And did it work? I imagine we'll get to did it work anyway. So let's do finger pistols.
There's no evidence the communards were equipped with finger pistols, though it's unlikely they would have decisively altered the outcome.
I like the fact that I actually did do the finger pistol gesture.
The acolytes, along with the redoubt, were vaporized in an artillery strike before the process could be completed.
Kim must be looking at me thinking, what is he doing? He's reading this book that's taken him an hour, like 2 hours to finish, and also he's just doing finger pistol poses as well.
Picture the lot of them, all standing with their fingers in the air 1 minute. The next, reduced to a bloody mist.
Yeah, so they didn't do it.
It's been said, though, that in the weeks following the battle, the captain of the debutante noted an increase in incidents of crewmen striking their heads on unexpectedly low bulkheads.
Okay, so they may have actually been able to manifest change.
Of course, colourful anecdotes only scratch the surface of what inframaterialists believe may be possible in a truly third-level society.
What would a third-level society even look like?
Some have theorized that such a society would be fundamentally unrecognizable, lacking many of the institutions we typically take for granted in advanced societies, including organized governments, financial institutions, and law enforcement.
Basically a perfect world, a utopia, like, I guess, in Star Trek.
Others have argued that people living under third-level conditions will be immune to such infirmities as hunger, disease, and mental illness. In some of his later writings, Nielsen himself speculated about the potential for an extra-physical architecture that disregards the laws of bourgeois physics and instead relies on the revolutionary faith of the people for structural integrity.
Meaning the buildings stay up because people believe they'll stay up? And that seems like a bad theory to design buildings based on. Now, that does seem like a bad theory to design buildings on. But on the same aspect, how often do you actually think, oh yeah, this building that I'm standing in is just going to fall down around me? Most of the time, you're taking things for granted that the people who did do the architecture themselves put the work in to make sure it was safe and secure. Like, when was the last time you stepped into a lift and thought, I'm really worried that this lift is going to, snap its cable and I'm going to die because it's going to crash to the floor? Usually, it's going to be like there's a fail-safe. Nothing. I might get stuck in the lift if something bad happens, but there'll be people around to contact and get me out. But yeah, this idea of people think that buildings will stay up, so they do. Yeah, it's like the Space Orcs thing.
Precisely. Nielsen observed that the financial system operates on the same principle of faith. So why not an architectural system?
Well, the thing with that is, so money has no real value. Like, the change from a barter system of I trade something for you if you give something to me, that obviously there is a physical transaction. Giving something of money, like money is digital now and it doesn't functionally exist. I have money paid into a bank account and money goes out of the bank account and nothing is actually happening other than electronic signals being passed through. So that is, that's why that works for finance. Architecture, no, there has to be a physical aspect to it. So that's not necessarily the end conclusion of that, Nielsen.
On the following page, you come across a few black and white reproductions from Nielsen's own notebooks. One sketch depicts a government ministry shaped like a great inverted pyramid. A hectare in width at the top, balanced atop foundations the size of common apartments.
Now we're just getting into the SCP Foundation in control.
Another depicts a leaning tower wrapped in a dramatic helix. The caption beneath it reads, "The Tower of History." Something about that tower looks awfully familiar. Could it be that's what the students were trying to recreate with the matchboxes?
Wait, but what if the people stop believing and the buildings collapse? This might be too much even for me. Plausible or not, there's something beautiful about this idea. Is there any more? What if they stop believing?
In the corner of one of the reproduced notebook pages, you can make out the following words, written in Nielsen's distinctive slashing script. A state that has lost the faith of its people has forfeited the right to exist.
Alright, well, fair enough. Plausible or not, there's something beautiful about this idea. Is there any more?
There is no more. You've reached the outer theoretical limits of communism, and in less than 200 pages.
It took me 2.5 hours to read 200 pages.
If you'd like to read further, may we recommend a brief look at Occidental architecture?
I feel like that's a book that I have seen and might be able to be purchased in PlaySense's bookstore, but I don't have the money to do it, so. Alright, well that was quite enlightening, so let's put the book away. Cool, so we updated the task for that, and now we can return to the group for discussion. I don't know whether I need to do that at night, but we can see. And yeah, now we've got some other stuff. So I am going to go ahead and do that task of doing some smokes, because it might trigger something else. So, that equipped it? Nope. Try again. Oh.
There it is, a brave little army in your pocket. The first Smokes platoon. 20 brave souls standing in salute, ready to step into fire for you, sir.
Pull one out of the pack.
You picked the best one. This soldier is fat and succulent. What are you waiting for? Light up. Re-become yourself.
Light it up. I don't want to light it up right now. People are watching. Put it back in the pack. No one cares if people are watching them. Light it up.
Get a load of this rock and roll cop here, people. Johnny Thundercop fishes a cheap lighter out of his pants. With a flick of the thumb, there's fire. A primal satisfaction. Here we go. The lighter's dark green disposable plastic. Safety's off. In your case, the safety is always off.
What are the repercussions if I do this? Dip that bad boy in the flame and breathe in. No, throw it away at the last second. I assume I'm going to get some more context if I say this, but otherwise it's just going to damage me physically.
Repercussions? There's a high risk of glory, with a mild chance, cool genius. Smoking makes you into an intellectual. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, smoking makes you look cool.
It will help you concentrate a bit. That much is true.
Okay, fair enough.
It only lets you concentrate because you're in nicotine withdrawal. It only mitigates its own. Blah, blah, blah. Boring. Light it up.
Dip that bad boy in flame and breathe in.
Thick, warm smoke gets sucked down into your lungs. Immediately, you feel a warm nostalgia fill your head, body, and soul. A nostalgia for yourself. The man you were in your youth. Johnny Thundercop is back, and he's chill as balls.
Substance used smokes Astra. We've completed the task, find smokes and smoke them, gain 30 XP, and we have leveled up.
In the bottom right corner of the screen, there's a cigarettes button. Cigarettes gives +1 to intellect skills. Logic, rhetoric, conceptualization, visual calculus, encyclopedia, and drama. This is good before a white check, but damages your health.
Yeah, I'm now just realizing I should have done this before I went to sleep last night, because then I would heal the health back. Oh well. Okay, so let's have a look at what other tests we can do. Who made the call? This may take some time. Right, let's go and see if we can get the number from Alice, because that is something that I think is something I should have. And then the armor's owner means I can go back to Evra or someone else. Did I interact with the tree before? I feel like I didn't.
The hawthorn tree on Rue de Songes Lane. Bronze-colored ribbons of magnetic tape are caught in its branches, fluttering in the breeze.
Good hawthorn, pat the tree.
Patting the tree reveals a small sticker which has almost been worn to oblivion. It reads, RCM Emergencies Desk, number 8102. Underneath a slogan, Mankind, be vigilant. You tree-hugging pansy.
I just patted it.
The bronze ribbon twists around and within the branches in an intricately natural pattern. But there's something.
What do I see?
There's a twisted logic in this mess. You see the ends of the ribbon, the way it flows, how it twists and turns. It's all starting to make sense. It'll be easier to remove now.
Interfacing check of challenging 12, disangle the tape. We've got the tape release calculations, and the multi-tool is truly multi.
With slow and deliberate motions, pulling, bending, and unraveling, you manage to extricate the magnetic tape from the branches. It curls up into a mess inside your pocket. If only you could find a way to re-spool it, so that you could hear what's on the tape.
I think I can do that because my hotel room should have a tape recorder in it.
Maybe Roy from the pawn shop can help you with this.
I'll just go to Roy then.
What's the tape for?
The lieutenant looks at the mess in your hands only after you've successfully cleaned up the branches. Does the curiosity get him? Before. It's for Egghead. I promised to make his Van Eyck's jam hit a bit harder. Maybe this tape can help. I'm too embarrassed to say. No, it's for Egghead.
How? It's broken and unspooled. Do you think your new buddy knows how to fix it?
He has to. He's the master of ceremonies after all. I'd think at least one of the ravers would know how to fix a broken tape if they want to set up a nightclub. I'm not sure. Oh, well, I'll find out. Maybe Egghead can point me in the right direction. I would hope they could fix a broken tape if they want to do a nightclub.
You could also get it fixed at the pawn shop across the street. We shouldn't waste our time.
He looks at his wristwatch a little impatiently. I guess doing it at Roy's is quicker.
Good idea. He might have the tools. The tape projector in the pawn shop uses similar tape.
Alright, well, let's go to the Roy's pawn shop then. Go to Roy's pawn shop. Yeah, I don't think I could interact with that tape before, but I guess you can only do it after agreeing to make the Van Eyck jam more hardcore. I guess we'll see. Alright, do I still have the flashlight on? No, I don't. Oh, I need to get, yeah. Let's get rid of the... So, the magnetic tape. The bronze-coloured tape was found in the branches of the hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Ghislain. There should be an H there, but whatever. It gleams whenever a ray of sun hits the surface.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted...
So, nothing to that.
All the old...
Okay. So, talk to Roy.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Hey, do you know how to fix this? Show him the bundle of magnetic tape.
You mean re-spool it? Yeah, I do, but...
Great, could you do it please? This is important. I need to play this tape for someone.
But I'm not some Mr. Fix-It. I'm a pawnbroker. If you want to pawn the tape, sure. Although it looks pretty... worthless.
Just explain why you need this so much. He's bound to understand.
Wait, but you tinker with film tapes all the time, isn't this the same? Worthless is not worthless, Roy. This could be the next big thing for the local dance music scene. Maybe you can help me some other way then. You tinker with film tapes all the time, isn't that the same?
No, it's different. Those film tapes actually mean something to me. But this is just a worthless bundle of old tape.
Surely you don't know the worth of it until it's been re-spooled so that you know what's on it. This could be the next big thing.
Huh? What do you mean?
You know that old church down the coast?
Yes. What about it?
I helped some young ravers turn this place into a nightclub, and they play these weird beats there which they call anodic music.
Is it any good? The music, I mean.
No, that's the thing. You can't believe how unbelievably thin the beat is. There's nothing to it. No bass. It just goes bzz, bzz, bzz. So this tape could make it hardcore. Not very, I need to funk it up. No, hardcore.
Man, you're really invested in this.
I am. He looks at the bundle of tape in front of him. It shimmers under the shop's dazzling light show.
Okay, I'll help you out. It's going to take a moment, though, so just sit back and relax.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Roy.
You take some time to look around the store. The play of visuals all around the pawn shop is mesmerizing. Suddenly, Roy turns back to you with a reel of tape in his hand and coughs. You know these visuals would look super cool in the church.
Hey, those visuals you've got here would look great in the church. Point at the lights in the pawn shop. Look at the clock. Wait, this took more than a few moments. That was at least 15 minutes. 15 minutes, so what? Thanks for the help. Proceed, take the repaired tape. The visuals would be great.
Yeah, I bet they would. All those lights in a massive church hall.
He stares at the intricate interplay of light and shadow all around him, suddenly moved by the idea.
A sanctuary filled with hand-picked positive photons. There would be no room for sadness in such a place. It's a brilliant vision.
But you and me could make this all become true. Mankind needs this. Yeah, let's appeal to him.
Yeah, man. No. I rather like this place happy too. You know, where I work. This tape is all I can do for you and your friend's nightclub project.
That's fair enough. You do need to make sure you have your own needs accounted for. He nods at the fixed tape on the countertop.
There's no way to turn this around, I'm afraid.
Okay, thanks for the help.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'll do what I can for true passion projects. Just try not to use this tape for negative photon emissions. Take responsibility. Okay.
Alright, that's it. So, let's have a look at the reel of magnetic tape. The bronze-colored tape, blah blah blah. It's been reconstructed into a usable reel of magnetic tape. It's pretty fragile and in an odd format which doesn't fit into portable tape players. Nevertheless, Egghead will be stoked. Cool. Alright, well that's that. Let's move on.